Hi guys, welcome back to The Funny Thing Is podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Birch, where every week I bring you a guest who shares a life-changing event, the medicine they took to get better, and the funniest lesson they learned along the way. Today we have a stand-up comedian and content creator who is inspired by her experiences as a first-generation American. She has amassed tens of millions of views online. Her debut, I love this title, her debut tour, The Diversity Fire, has sold out shows around the world, and she's featured in Netflix's Joke Comedy Festival, selected for NBC's late night writing program, which is very difficult to get into, by the way, and has a dry bar comedy special on the way. Please welcome to the stage, Reem Edan.
Yay.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to do this. We met we're a part of a group of comedians that are on a WhatsApp chat.
A very secret society of comedians.
A very secret society. And I don't know, how long have you been on it? I think I've only been on it like a year.
I think I've only been on it like 2 months.
Yeah. But the resources.
It's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, there's so many pools of people now where it's like, we're like women doing this, or we're like XYZ doing that.
Right.
Or we're the Babysitters Club. This actually feels like a group of people who just want to help.
That's
and
it.
who are qualified to
and
help.
are qualified.
Yeah.
Like there's comics on there who have millions and millions of followers
Yeah.
that have been doing this a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I got welcomed by Steve Hofstetter, who's like he's just a genuine dude.
Yeah.
Who's
So
trying
genuine.
to help people.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like, well, what do you sell for your merch?
Mhm.
Well, what do your tour dates look like? What about this one club?
Yeah.
Have you guys gotten paid for that? I mean, it is such a resource.
Which is so like invaluable for this industry specifically, not even
Yes.
just entertainment. That's one thing, but comedy, like our niche is so bizarre and segmented. And I feel like the price or the rate one person might get is not what the other person gets just because we don't know and don't talk.
1000%. When you said segmented,
Yeah.
that is the perfect word to describe
Siloed
it.
too, very siloed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where it's such a social job and such a solo job at the same time.
Right.
So it's like we're introverted extroverts.
And the guys that have been doing it a long time, making like, because you do brand deals and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, so do I. So like that's like helped a lot,
For sure.
but it's harder to get butts in seats,
Mhm.
especially right now.
Yeah.
And so it's like everybody's talking about that. And the next thing you have is, hey, have you guys noticed a drop off on ticket sales? Yes. Okay, here's what we're going to do about it. You guys are going to focus more on online merch. You're going to focus more on like everybody kind of has a solution.
Yeah. Which is
To get-
admittedly, like sometimes I will see things pop up and I'm like, oh, I'm too busy to look at it. But I've made a mental note to like go back to the very beginning and just like download these Spark Notes and then
Right.
apply them to my life.
Yeah, and my favorite thing is like if I do miss something, I was like, oh, what's the camera everybody's using?
Yeah.
Or what's the microphone everybody's
Yeah.
using? And you can literally just do the search and you'll see that they've talked about it 10 times.
Which is a million times better than what I used to do, which is like just text one comic at a time and be like, hey, what do you use? Now it's like I get all these random people, get to connect with all these people in
Collaborating.
different places. I love it.
Yeah.
Look
I
at us
love it.
doing the
I know, look
thing.
at us doing a thing.
I love it.
So what is a life-changing event you'd like to share?
Okay, well, I was thinking long and hard about this.
Okay.
And then the life-changing event that came up was just, it felt so timely with what's happening in the world
So timely.
right now. I don't know when this episode's going to get released, but
3 weeks?
okay.
Yeah.
So we'll probably still be at war. Per Trump's analysis.
Yeah.
So just to give you a little bit of background before I tell the story. I'm Iraqi-American. My
Mhm.
parents are both from Iraq.
Okay.
Met there, came here as students, had a family here. So I was born and raised in the U.S. in Colorado. So like the whitest state you could possibly.
Correct, right.
Which is why I sound like
And
this.
only sibling or
No. Middle child.
middle child?
AKA
Okay,
now
great.
stand-up comedian.
Got it.
So-
That's how it happens. Yes.
Are you a middle child as well?
I'm the oldest, but I'm the oldest of two halves.
Okay, so
And
that's
so
the
it was
middle.
it was a complicated,
Yeah.
complicated setup. Yeah.
That feels like the middle to me.
Yeah.
So definitely grew up like, in a small town in Colorado. So just felt very American my entire life.
Mhm.
Like I knew my parents were different,
Mhm.
but at that point, I grew up in the 90s. It didn't really matter. It just felt like,
Right.
who cares?
Right.
And then life really changed and like truly like my identity fractured when I was about 10 years old. My parents wanted to move back to the Middle East. So they never really intended on staying in the US when they were students. They just wanted to come get their degrees and go back. But then the Gulf War happened in 90, I think.
Yeah.
And they kind of got stuck here, and then the kids came, and then they had to claim political asylum. So they'd always intended on having a family back home in Iraq, but because of the war, couldn't.
Right.
So that's kind of how we started out here. So they always thought we want to have an experience for our kids where they can like learn the language.
Mhm.
We already spoke a little Arabic, but they wanted us to have like, you know,
The
an
culture
experience,
aspect,
the
yeah.
cultural aspect, learn more about our religion. So my dad got a job as a professor in Bahrain. A lot of people don't know Bahrain. It's a small island.
I had to look it up because I
Yeah.
saw you send it to me and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, great.
Yeah. It's a small island in the Middle East. It actually just got I don't want to say bombed, but a drone hit a building there during
Oh
the
my
whole
God.
Iran war.
Yeah. It's by Qatar.
It's by Qatar, yeah.
Qatar.
And there's a
Okay,
huge
okay. How do
base.
you say it? Because I've been saying Qatar this whole time and
Yeah.
somebody goes, it's Qatar.
Well, in Arabic, it's Qatar. So
Okay.
it's either Qatar or Qatar.
Okay.
I say Qatar.
I say Qatar.
I have a bit about this. Like, just
Oh,
stop
please.
forcing us to say foreign words the right way in
Right.
English. Yeah. Did
So
you know,
great.
up until like 5 years ago, that's a lie. Very recently, up until very recently, I said Iraq because like I grew up, they taught me the word Iraq. And
Yeah.
so everyone like online was like, wow, it's pronounced Iraq. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, it's not. Like,
Yeah.
who cares? It's an
I grew up in
English.
Colorado. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah. So I now, when I do like stand up and talk about it, I have to focus on saying Iraq, which sounds
Yeah.
so awkward.
I know.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's like when you have a friend who changes their name all of a sudden and you have to like think about it
Oh, absolutely.
when you say it.
I mean, I feel like only in the last 2 weeks have I seen so many videos where they say Qatar, and I was like, where is that? And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, have I been saying it wrong this whole time? So yeah, I totally. Okay, so that's where it is.
Yeah. So it's over there. And my
It looks
dad got
beautiful.
It's cool.
Yeah,
It's cool. I mean, it's not like a tropical island.
Right.
You know, it's not like St. Bart's or something where it's
Right.
like, oh, you know, there are beaches, but it's not as tropical vibey
right.
as like Hawaii
Okay,
or something.
got
You
it.
know, a little more industrial, but it's cool. Very nice people.
Okay.
It's part of the Gulf.
Mhm.
So there's like different types of Arabs. There's like Gulf Arabs. There's like, you know, the more Levant Arabs, whatever. So it's just, you know, interesting. It was a great experience. We moved over there.
When you were 10.
When I was 10.
Okay.
It was a great experience for about a week.
Mhm.
And then 9/11 happened.
Hey,
Yeah.
right then.
Yeah. So just, I mean, that was, I think, a huge event for anyone, right?
Right.
Wherever you were in the world. It was either
Absolutely.
shocking for you as an American or, you know, shocking for you to watch on TV as someone living abroad. But now imagine the circumstances in the background I just told you. So I'm Arab-American. And, you know, up until that point, my American side was probably, I was like 90-10 American Arab, you know.
Right.
And even moving to the Middle East, I was so convinced everyone was going to think I was the coolest person alive because I was from the United States,
Right.
you know. And suddenly, like, you know, we hear about this event happening on TV. Mind you, I can't even watch TV because we just moved into a house. There's like no television yet, no cable yet. So like we're hearing about like this terrorist attack. Boxes are still everywhere. I have a younger brother, an older sister. We're all still kids. The U.S. Embassy called. So I'm sure you've been seeing like, you know, news right now about like the embassies evacuating Americans,
Yes.
et cetera. So that I was totally familiar with because when 9/11 happened, we got that same phone call and they were like, you need to be prepared to leave. We might like evacuate you in the middle of the night. Don't bring any of your stuff. Like this is about to happen. Don't unpack.
Wild.
It was crazy. So I just remember like thinking my Middle Eastern like adventure was going to be one thing and it turned out to be a completely different thing. Yeah. So I just remember like, you know, I just remember being confused, not understanding like what a terrorist attack was, et cetera. And then I start school. And now, whereas I thought I would, you know, I was going to an international school, so it was English speaking and there was people from different countries, but I was one of like very few Americans in a small
Right.
handful. Now that's all people wanted to talk about was they're like, they saw me in a different light. And so it was harder for me to even make friends because now I was the American chick when like America was
You have
number
like a
one thing.
stigma. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, that's hard enough in and of itself, but now take into account that I'm Iraqi. So a year later, we go to war with Iraq. So now I'm literally smack dab in the middle of two countries, in the middle of two identities. And everyone's like asking me very hard questions like, whose side are you on? Or like, you know, their kids are like making fun of me like, oh, is Saddam your uncle? And things like that. So
Jesus.
I just feel like it's truly like, if you look at my stand-up now and you look at kind of the things I talk about and the things or the points I'm the most aware of, it definitely all comes down to when I was 10 years old. And like the thing that came to mind the most was, who are you? Where are you from? And like, what are you about?
Yeah.
And
What's
it
your
all-
stance?
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
things. Which like at 10 years old, like if you ask me my opinion on anything.
Yeah. I was like,
Who-
Pokemon are cool.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Those are such heavy questions for such a small kid.
For sure. And so, and I remember too, like one of the hardest times was we went to a protest, protesting the Iraq war. And I remember, and I say this like gently, because I don't want people to think that like people are doing this right now in the Middle East and it's crazy, because the Middle East is actually amazing. I love going there.
Yeah.
It's safe. It's a vibe. Like, you know, people are cool. But I remember at that specific protest, someone burned an American flag. And I just remember like standing there and I was like frozen, because I was like, oh my God, what if they find out I'm American? You know,
What's
like,
next? What's going to happen next?
Yeah. And not
Oh
even
my
because I
gosh,
felt
girl.
threatened, but I was like, wait, here I am protesting the United States, but like I'm American. So like, am I the problem? Like, it's just such
Yeah,
a
it's
mind fuck.
fuck.
Yeah, such a mind fuck. So I would say that was probably the most like defining,
Right.
you know, difficult thing that happened to me, was just like those preteen years of like.
Now, how long did you stay? Because you're here now. So how long
Here
did
now.
you guys stay? And your family's here too.
Yeah, family's here.
Yeah.
We stayed about 4 years, like 3.5, 4 years.
Okay.
So it got better over time. I feel like, and I think what helped me get through it too was like learning how to deal with the kids in my school, like figuring that out, which I don't know if I can cut to the medicine part yet. But
Yeah, you can. It's
yeah, it's you know, like kids would like make fun of me, and I was also like a fat kid because I was born in America,
right.
So
that's what happens.
how they grow us.
Yeah.
So I feel like I was like getting double the, you know,
all of the bullying.
all of the bullying. Yeah.
Now, what was their stance on it? Were they upset that you were American, or upset that you were
No.
like no?
No, they weren't. I think it was just like, I think it was just weird for them. Like, I didn't get bullied in a sense where I felt like threatened,
right,
or anything like that. It was kind of, I think I got more fat jokes, to be honest.
Yeah. Yep.
I even have a joke in my stand-up where I'm like, you know, they would like call me like a little piggy, which I thought was very fucked up because I'm Muslim and we don't eat pork. I was like, can you choose another animal?
Like, do something that actually
can I be
affects
a cow?
me? Thank you.
Yeah. So, no, I just felt different, you know, and I'd felt different in the US before, but it was like a fine different.
Right.
But I felt suddenly like, oh, there's who are my people?
Were your siblings going through some similar?
Definitely the same thing. Yeah. Okay. And they also got it a little worse too when we came back to the United States, because we ended up coming back in, I think, 2004. And I would say I'm pretty white passing. So when I came back, like, you know, no one really knew who I was or whatever. But my brother definitely looks Middle Eastern. And so he would get the brunt of it. Like,
oh my God.
The Aladdin jokes and things like that, or terrorist jokes. But yeah, you just were so aware that like you were not of like the populace.
Right.
Which was crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always like you're kind of always in the middle. Like you hear that with mixed people that are kind of white passing, but then it's like, well, you're not black enough.
Yeah.
But you're also not white enough.
Yeah.
And it's like to toe that line.
Exactly. Yeah. You straddle both identities. So then you either can create your own identity from that, or sometimes you get lost within it. It's like, it's very, very difficult to handle, I think, sometimes.
So what would you say your medicine was? Like navigating that?
Honestly, and like, not to fast forward to me being a comedian, but like it was comedy, you know? And I think like, growing up as a chubby kid, I think you're funny. Like that's just kind of what happens.
It's your Teflon.
Know?
It's the way to have Teflon is to have sense of humor.
100%. You have to grow a personality at a young age.
Right.
If you grow up overweight. And that's kind of what I did, because it's like I wanted people to like me and things like that. So I remember moving to the Middle East, I was trying to be the class clown and whatever. Mm-hmm. Moving to the Middle East, that kind of got dimmed a little because, you know, I was very fish out of water and like and then didn't feel comfortable enough to try to be funny. I didn't think my humor was translating. So I had to like relearn how to be funny and like relearn like what to do. Like, do I make myself the butt of the joke? Like that didn't feel good. Like, do I like make fun of other people before they make fun of me? So it definitely took me a while to learn how to utilize the skill, but like it was my medicine. Even, you know, even like when it came to going home after like a hard day at school or like watching the news, and it was always kind of stressful. Not even in just my household. I feel like in a lot of Middle Eastern households, especially today, it's like we watch the news differently because, you know, shit's always going down. You know, we all have family back there, and it feels like it's a revolving door of chaos in the Middle East, you know?
Yeah.
Every few years or so, there's
another. I can't even imagine what that would be like. Yeah.
It's crazy. You do get numb to it. You're like, oh yeah, there's bombs in the Middle East. It's just like, I recently was thinking like, I'm kind of sad that I'm apathetic a lot of the time. I'm just so used to it. Like most of my life has been, oh, like there's war in the Middle East, there's war in Iraq, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, you get callous.
Yeah. So but humor also, my medicine at home was also like watching funny like movies, watching funny TVs. Like
thank goodness that you could do that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You have to.
You have to. There was one show one channel that had American or English speaking shows.
Okay.
It was NBC2, and they had just like Friends reruns and Oprah. So I am like very caught up on Oprah and Friends. Like,
yes.
as a child. Maybe that's why I'm so emotionally mature, because I watched so much Oprah.
The thing that got me through the first year of the pandemic was just rewatching Friends episodes. And I was like, oh, this is much better than like Dateline and 48 Hours Mystery.
100%.
Because it just changes the vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I'm glad you had that resource. Was there any other like comedy that you grew up with or comedians even?
You know, I will say like the first person I clocked as a stand-up comedian was Russell Peters. Love him.
Oh,
love
he's
him.
so good.
He really is. And I think like the reason it like I really connected with him was because he was like, you know, like a brown guy, and like he would talk about his parents, and his dad had an accent and things like that. So I remember like that was like the one like family comedy thing we could watch. I mean, he wasn't super clean, but like there was like I remember he had a joke about like he told his dad that when he was sick he needed punani, which was a fruit, and his dad went to like the grocery store looking for punani, which means pussy in English. And so, which I even have a joke modeled after today. But I remember just watching that and being like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. So I remember like Russell Peters was like one of my favorites watching. And I think he also like helped me later in life realize what comedy was like as a career. And I was like, oh, okay, like if he can go and talk about his family, then I could probably go talk about my family.
Yeah. And your stuff online is like really sharp.
Oh, thank you.
Because the thing, like we've done this for a while, but like when you see not even necessarily a newer comic, but they'll use a clip and you're just like, oh, it wasn't
ready.
It's like it wasn't ready, or you just put it up because you're like, oh, I can't like drop on the algorithm right now. I need to be pushing content.
Yeah.
And girl, all of your stuff is hilarious.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
so sharp.
That.
And it's like short, sweet, to the joke, and I'm like, this is exactly how you curate it.
I appreciate it, because sometimes the algorithm doesn't agree. And
well,
we're still trying to figure it out.
It's because they change it every 5 seconds.
Every 5 seconds.
And then they change the monetization every 5 seconds.
Oh, literally. I love making 3 cents sometimes off a video. Oh my God.
We had one that just hit 17 million. It's just me and my husband trying on Christmas sweatshirts. They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it hit 17 million and I made 44 cents on Instagram.
I
was like,
ass.
what?
Why?
It's so ridiculous.
That's what my dad was asking me. He was like, so like, do these videos help you? Like, how do they help you? I was like, yeah, I mean, you know, more followers equals more views equals more butts and seats, like equals, you know.
Better brand opportunities.
Opportunities. Is it a direct like cash cow? No. But like
and it used to be. That's what bothers me. Yeah. Like if this was 2021, we'd be buying houses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Although Facebook is supposed to be.
Facebook's where it's at now.
Yeah.
I did make 1,000 off of that video.
That's good.
With Facebook.
That's good.
So that was good. But it's also the only one that's paying.
Yeah.
And then what you notice is like Instagram was competing with TikTok, so they were doing bonuses. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh, I'm thriving. Yeah. And then they're like, yeah, the bonus program stopped.
Yeah. And now it's just carousels.
Yeah.
I make like 43 cents a carousel.
I know.
And also, I'll just do more carousels. Fine.
Okay, now you're convincing me to do something. It's just, I think people don't understand, especially if they're not doing it.
Yeah.
That like it changes so much. And when people saw that I had that many views, they're like, oh, you're roll. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
This isn't even paying rent. Like, that's not what this is.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, not wild.
I love our jobs.
I know.
It's so fun. I get paid in laughter and vibes. And self-esteem.
What would you say? I'm trying to think. I want to make sure I got all of the questions. Yeah. Okay. So what is it like today?
To be me?
Yeah. To be you, to be Arab, to be in the United States, to be, I mean, it's a lot.
I was just, you know, that's a great question. What is it like today to be Arab in America? It's different for different people, and it depends on where you are.
Okay.
Like, I think I have a very unique circumstance because, you know, I'm white passing, so people don't know I'm Arab off the top.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's all I talk about.
You're like,
they don't know it, but then I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Ironically, the number one thing people think I am is Israeli, which is hilarious because I'm like,
that's so funny.
Literally, I'm quite literally the opposite, but that's fun.
Right.
But yeah, so it's like you don't really know I'm Arab unless I tell you, but it's shifting. You know, when I first started stand-up,
right,
in 2016, so it's been 10 years. When I first started, I was like, I don't want to talk about being Middle Eastern. I don't want to talk about being Arab. I want to just talk about the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. But that was also the year that Trump got elected. So I was like, I mean, I kind of have to, like, you know.
You kind of have to.
Yeah. And people also encouraged me. They're like, you need to like talk about who you are. And I was like, all right, well, as long as it's not gimmicky. So, and obviously when you first start out comedy, everything is gimmicky.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wore the flannel, the fedora, the quirky glasses,
love.
and talked about blowjobs. I mean, it was
I had a 72 Virgin stroke. I was like,
Yeah.
ugh. Like it was definitely a white man who was like, you should write about this, and I was like, should I? Okay. And I think back about it, I'm like, why did I do that? So cringe.
Yeah. How we start out is so funny.
Yeah. So I remember not wanting to talk about it because I wanted to compartmentalize that part of my identity, and then it just like came to the forefront, and that was actually like it helped me get an audience super quick because
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah.
Because there's something about when you step into your authenticity.
Yeah.
That like, did you notice your comedy got better?
100%.
Yeah. Same.
I will say something I had to toy around with, and this took me a couple years to learn, was talking about my background and my identity in a way that was making light of and not making fun of. That's something I had to learn. Yeah. Because I do think I'm very uniquely positioned, especially like as a Middle Eastern comic or a brown comic. Because I believe, and I might be wrong, but I do believe that like some comics will play to just their ethnic group or just a certain set of people, and they'll do well, even if it's like a church group. If you're a church comic, like you just do good for that kind of those kinds of crowds, and then don't necessarily do well in a club crowd or a general crowd.
Right.
Some are the opposite, you know. So I think like I've worked really hard to be in the middle, you know.
Yeah,
like
you're very universal.
Thank you. Which is ironic because I feel like I talk a lot about being Middle Eastern, but I think it's more universal in the way that I deliver it, and it's I'm not
absolutely. It's so relatable. All of it.
Thank you.
Is.
If a white person agrees.
Again, this is why I think like your stuff, like all the clips, because I get nervous before I have somebody come on that I haven't met yet, and then I'm like, okay, and I'm like, damn, sharp,
Thank
and
you.
like, yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Someone told me that my comedy is too smart for audiences, and I was like, well, that's their fucking fault. I was like, what do you want me to do? Be dumber? No,
I'm not gonna do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that.
But I've seen people like, so they'll be like either just an Arab comic or just a this comic or just a whatever comic. And for me, like I wanted to be like, I performed in both, you know, like but
that's also a reflection of you being an Iraqi-American. Like, you know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah. Being in the middle.
To be able to play for both.
You're right.
Yeah.
But I think what I had to learn was sometimes I was making fun of my identity to the general crowds. And it almost looked like I was like not embarrassed of it, but just like, those guys.
Yeah.
You know,
I know what you're saying.
It sucks to be Arab. Like, you know, and I do even know some comics who have that perspective. And it plays super well to like a general room, but then the community is like sell out. Like, I can't believe they're portraying us in this way. You know? Yeah. So I think like that's something I had to work on was how do because I think there's only been like a handful of times in my life where I've truly bombed. And the biggest bomb of my life was when I performed for like a Middle Eastern group, like year 2 of comedy. And I was making like those kind of jokes and they were just deeply offended. Like they were like, you're laughing at us.
My worst round of, it was, you know, I featured for somebody in our hometown. And I was like, well, but it was the first time back from the pandemic. And I tanked so hard because I was still doing, and it took him like 3 shows to tell me what it was. And I was like, you could have told me this a long time ago. But he's watching it and he goes, oh, you're still doing all your old dating stuff. He goes, which worked for you.
Yeah.
He goes, but you just had a baby 6 months ago. You're a single mom.
Yeah.
And he's like, why aren't you talking about that? And I was like, well, because I don't want people to know about that. That's like, And he's like, because you were going through an identity crisis. You need to talk about your identity crisis.
That's exactly what you have to do.
And
Isn't that wild?
Like, and then as soon as I did that, I got a comedy special.
Wow, that's amazing.
Wild,
right? I just got goosebumps. That's awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
But it is. It's like leaning into that authenticity.
Well, that's even something I'm dealing with right now because like I'm at a point now where I'm like, I'm doing Reem 2.0, right? I just did my diversity fire tour and stuff. So I'm writing a new hour.
Such a great title, by the way. I'm going to say it again. It's such a great title.
Thank you. I have my merch and it says like diversity hire and then it's crossed out and says fire.
It's so great.
It makes me so happy. I think it's hilarious.
It's so good.
But so I'm like doing Reem 2.0 and like the biggest question on my mind this entire time in my career is kind of what I told you right now. Like I sounded eloquent about it, but really in the back of my mind, I'm like, am I being too Arab? Am I being too this? Am I universal enough? Am I too specific? You know, like I'm getting traction on my videos online. A lot of them are in the Middle East. Does that count? Should my followers be in America? Like, it's just like, there's a lot of this back and forth.
Right.
So, that's like what I'm trying to balance right now is like figuring out like, okay, how do I stay me, not be all identity focused, even though I told you like that's my big, turning point in my life.
Right.
How do I just like, now that I've established that to the world, who I am, why I think and feel the way I do, how do I just talk about like Reem and what she likes and like your single mom stuff, like the truth.
Right.
Because I'm ready to figure it out.
Right.
And someone also gave me that advice that they gave you was like, if you're having an identity crisis and trying to figure it out, talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't
that's
think
the
that you
thing you have to touch on.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm trying to like figure out like what's my brand, and I'll make jokes from that brand, and they're like, no, if you don't know what you're doing and you're nervous about sounding to this or to that, discuss it, you know.
Right.
Or right now with the war, it's like if you're every time I try to like do that and talk about other things, another fucking war in the Middle East happens, and then I'm like, now I have to kind of talk about this. I always have to talk about it.
I have to address this. I'd also be so curious. I mean, I want to see more of you, and I want to see your full specials. But like what it's like for you living here now, and your parents live in.
My parents, they lived in Colorado most of the time, and then they just moved to Texas a couple years ago.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
My husband's he's there right now in Dallas.
Oh, fine.
Yeah. Houston, yeah. So not too far.
Yeah.
And what it's like, any video you do with your parents is so funny to me.
I'm glad you love them.
So funny.
Yay.
Like your dad explaining different words and what they mean.
Oh my God. I just was in Texas last week, and I was like, listen, you guys are now paid actors. We're doing content days. And I did a content day with both of them. There's a lot coming. Yeah.
The 17 mil was because my mom's voice was in the background.
Really?
Yelling at us.
Okay, so I will say that too. Like I had so much traction with like my mom and my dad videos, and then I kind of shut down again because I was like, wait, like, am I now focusing too much on a Middle Eastern audience? I literally keep having this debate.
I mean, I think you got it perfectly peppered out.
Okay, good.
To where it's not just that.
Okay, good.
It's also your stand-up. Like your rotation is great.
Thank you for confirming that.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So yeah, like coming back to the United States, it was like the first couple of years were a little tricky. Like I said, like my brother got like a little bit of hate.
Yeah.
I had an identity crisis. I just for like.
And did you guys move back to Colorado?
To Fort Collins.
Okay.
I pretended I was Mexican for 3 months because I was like, I just feel like that's easier. No one said anything to me. No one bullied me. No one cared. And I just decided to be a chola. Like, I'm not even using that word lightly. I truly became a like Chicana gangster and like just was in my like
as one does,
right?
Yeah.
I had an accent. That's like the most embarrassing.
That's great.
I talked about it in my last hour because I was like, I need to get ahead of this because at some point I'm going to get a little bit more famous, and then someone's going to come out and say, Reem used to pretend to be Latina. She used to Hilaria Baldwin her way through life.
So funny.
So I need to admit it ahead of time.
Okay, so my stepmom's Mexican.
Okay.
And all I wanted to do was culturally appropriate the Mexican culture.
You should.
So like I speak fluent Spanish.
Do you really?
And when I was in 7th, 8th grade, I would do the dark lip liner.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then that's why I don't have real eyebrows anymore. Because they plucked my eyebrows.
That's amazing.
But I was part of that group, and I was like,
I guess it happens to all Canadians. Is it a rite of passage?
We all go Mexican at some point. It's fine. It's fine.
I love that.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, so like my parents, they were pretty chill. I mean, like there was like a couple incidents throughout, like I think like in high school, like someone once like TV'd our house and like wrote like terrorist or something like that. Like,
my God.
But like it wasn't enough for me to feel like I was unsafe in America. It was like a random incident here,
right?
A random incident there,
right?
But I think still, it's like you're always aware of it, and now with like 9/11 is a thing of the past. Like there's now the generation that doesn't even remember 9/11. So now it's like, okay, like what's happening with Iran and like what's happening with this? I think, you know, it's getting cooler to be Arab. I will say that. Like there was a time where you felt like you had to hide it. Everyone pretended they weren't, or, you know, shunned it in a way. But now in the last like few years, I think especially with TikTok, I think there's more information out there, even about things like Ramadan, like which is like a Muslim I want to say holiday, like a Muslim observance where you fast every day, which just ended 2 days ago.
I know your videos on that were great too.
Oh, thank you. I have been living my best, like,
but also it's educational because I was like, which one's Ramadan? And then you're like, oh, it's the one where you fast. Okay,
yeah, which is also, I'm glad that you like picked up on that because that's part of, because it's like I'm trying to be so universal. I am talking about things in a way that's like teaching people, like, you know,
the education part is reaching to the people that might not be on the Arab side, might not be on the American side, like whatever, but are like, oh, I can watch this to learn something. Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes too, when I do these random gigs in like Wisconsin or like, you know, podunk places.
And they have no idea.
That sometimes I'm like the first like Arab or Muslim they've ever seen in real life.
1,000%.
Like they're like, are you allowed to be here? Yeah. And you can speak without permission? I'm like, yes, I can. Should I do it again?
I've got 45 minutes.
It's I was like, I'll do more.
Yeah. So you guys moved back.
Yeah.
He got some heat.
Yeah.
And then what happened from there? How do we go from Colorado to
LA? So stayed in Colorado, finished off high school. At some point stopped being Mexican in high school. And then, which when I did, by the way, I just like didn't tell anyone. I just stopped using my accent and just like didn't explain it. Just was like, okay, anyway. Went to college in Denver. Was trying to go elsewhere, but I got a scholarship, so I was like, we'll stay local.
That's how I was too.
Yeah. Where'd you go to college?
Oh, Topeka, Kansas.
Nice.
It's not. Yeah.
Well,
but,
you don't have student debt.
Yeah, but I have no student debt.
There it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Free ride.
And then always knew I wanted to work in Hollywood. Like it was I wanted to be an actor since I was like 8.
Yeah.
Didn't know what stand-up was. So stand-up was never on my vision board. It was just actor.
Yeah.
Until I got to a point where I realized it was a job. I think because of Russell Peters. And then I was like, oh wait, you can do this? So I moved to LA in 2013, as soon as I graduated. My background was in marketing, and I always like wanted to be an entertainer, but I think growing up in like a Middle Eastern household or other households too, like the arts are not encouraged.
Right.
So it's like, oh, you want to work in film? You can work on the business side of film, which is what I did. So I graduated, and then my first job was at Paramount doing film marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there I went to like Disney, and I worked at some other movie studios. And so that became my thing. Like I was working in Hollywood. I was like very adjacent to what I wanted to do.
Right.
But then over the years I started realizing I was like, oh, I'm like 20 feet from stardom. Like I'm 20 feet from what my dream actually is.
Yeah.
And that's actually where my second biggest defining moment in my life came, was when a few years into me doing my work in Hollywood and going to movie premieres and doing all those things, that's when I realized that I was like, I'm not actually doing my dream. I'm just kind of like here. And I'm like, I'm in Hollywood, but it's kind of pointless. Like, I don't know where I'm going. And that's when I like had a little mentee bee.
As we do.
Yeah. Or like a Saturn return, whatever you want to call it. And then had to do a lot of like meditation and personal work. And that's when I was like, okay, like I need to do something to bring joy to my life, because right now it's very empty. And the way I even started stand-up was after I was in a meditation class, and they were like talking about like just doing things that bring you joy, like thinking about like what in life makes you happy. And I was like, well, I really love making people laugh. You know, like I've always said I'd go to an open mic. Let me just go and just like see how it is. It was never for a career. I just wanted to go make people laugh to feel happy again. And then I went to one open mic and I was like, oh my God, this is what I should do. This is what I'm doing the rest of my life. So
yeah.
Oh,
I love it.
So full circle.
What would you say the funniest lesson you learned along the way is?
The funniest lesson I learned, honestly, the pretending I was Mexican was a pretty funny lesson. In like, just be authentic. You know what I mean?
It's so funny. My family, because so my stepmom's been my stepmom since I was 2.5.
Okay.
And so they have a Mexican restaurant in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And whenever I promote it, now everybody in the community, at least that I know in Kansas City, they know like I would take field trips to that restaurant.
Okay,
like,
nice.
Then they would so everybody knew I was related to them.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize once I got a social media platform, everybody was like, oh, you're white people cooking Mexican. I was like, no, they're Mexican. So I took a video and I'm like, no, see, look at my sister. She looks Mexican. We're half.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, she's Mexican. And I was like, and out of all 17 grandkids, I'm the only one that speaks Spanish.
No way.
So when I say I was trying to culturally appropriate
That's
into
hilarious.
the community so hard.
Yeah.
And my cousins think it's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, so I get a quinceañera. And they're
That's
like,
hilarious.
No, you don't get a quinceañera.
You deserve a quinceañera.
I did deserve a quinceañera.
You should do it now.
I should do it now.
You
At
really
44,
should.
I should do it now.
A cuarentena. I can't even.
Oh, I love that we both had that experience.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I miss my eyebrows, though.
Your eyebrows look great. Are they microbladed?
No, I just drew them on.
They look so good.
Oh, well, okay.
I think they look great.
What else? Is there anything else you wanted to share?
No, I think, just like the overall thing I've realized is like I've had so much fear in my life about like, will I be accepted? And like, should I change who I am to be accepted? Should I look different to be accepted? Should I be more white passing to be accepted? Like, and I realized at the end of the day, this is all in my head. Like, if I'm just myself, then that's all I can ever be. Just be yourself. Just be authentic. Like,
what? One more question. What do you get a lot of pushback online when you post your material? Not
really. Maybe earlier on. I mean, there's always those guys who are like, women not funny. You know, my favorite is like when like very religious people will comment like, you are a whore. Peace be with you. Like, what? So not really. I mean, I think one would assume like as like a Muslim, like Arab woman putting like jokes out there, people would be like, you shouldn't be doing this.
I only found one that I was like, oh, I wonder if she gets this a lot. It was a joke. I'm going to say it wrong. Okay. On a city called Erbil.
Okay, yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
This.
And the girl was like, hey, just so you know,
this is wrong.
They're not Arabs, they're da-da-da. And then the girl came to your defense, the one you were doing the crowd work with.
Yeah.
She was like, and she's like, well, why didn't she include that in the clip? And I was like,
you know why? It's because I didn't rewatch the thing and my editor didn't include it and I forgot. So I'm about to re-release the entire clip. It's like an 8-minute clip. Or maybe a 4-minute, I forget.
But still, I was like, that's the thing they harp on.
Isn't it insane? Everybody wants to feel like I'm different.
Yeah. Like, so for those of you who don't know, it's a joke about somebody said that it was a white woman.
So a white woman who was in the front row, she said, she was like, I lived in Iraq for 8 years.
Yeah.
And I married an Iraqi guy. And I was like, wait, where were you living? And she was like, Erbil. Apparently, Erbil is in Kurdistan. Mind you, a quick Google search has revealed that it is also the country of Iraq. Yeah. It is literally, it's a very Barcelona,
people were arguing about it. They weren't even on the right page in the comments because some people were saying one, some people were saying the other.
It's a Barcelona Catalan situation where like some people say that like Barcelona is part of either Catalunya or Catalonia versus, oh, we're not Spanish, we're Catalan. Like it's that situation. Yeah. So it's like, and I guess there's like been some tension. Listen, I don't know. But then everyone was mad at me. They're like, how are you going to talk about being Iraqi if you don't know? And I'm like, what? Like this. So I didn't.
You're like, I'm still Iraqi. Like it doesn't change.
Yeah. And I was like, all right. Anyway, so that's the only one that, I wouldn't say that's the only one. That's the recent one that there's been like negative pushback on. Yeah. If I ever talk about religion, that's when people get dicey. If I'm like, you know, like I have a joke I'm about to release where I'm like, oh, Jesus. Or I'm like, oh, like I talk about like being Muslim, like, but you know, being complicated. Like I was like, you know, I went to Coachella during Ramadan. Like I didn't eat. That's one of the side effects of drugs. And so like that one, I'm like, I'm going to post it. But I'm going to get so much pushback, but I don't care, you know?
You have to.
And I even sat my parents down recently because this was also a fear of mine with having them on my channel. Was a lot of their friends follow me now. And I was like, I think you guys need to understand something. I'm not a family comic. I was like, I'm not a dirty comic, you know?
Right.
But I'm not
super
a family
clean.
and I'm not a family comic. And so I was like, because I was going to post something. My mom was like, no, not in front of people. And I was like, fuck those people. Like, you know, I mean, I love thank you for following, but like, I don't want to censor myself.
My mom gets one veto a year.
Okay.
We've had that rule for about 12 years now.
One veto.
She gets one veto a year.
Yeah.
But she uses it by end of January. And then
that's hilarious. Do you show her all the videos that you post?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I had to get approval.
Yeah. I do. I'm like, hey, if this is, I mean, anything, I mean, obviously I don't talk about like my vagina, like the way I used to. Yeah. Like when we first started out, you know. Yeah. But, there things with my husband where she's like, oh, like I'm pregnant right now. And so I have a whole bit.
You're pregnant right now?
I am.
Oh, you didn't even look pregnant.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, congrats.
5.5 months. And so I talk about pregnancy sex.
Yeah.
And how it's like, wow, it's awesome. It's like you're on Molly. And like I do this whole bit and my mom's like, you can't tell that you're pregnant. You have a baby you can't talk about sex. That's filthy.
It's hilarious.
It's like, well, you already used
How did you get there?
Yeah. How did it happen?
We know the precursor. Yeah.
You know?
Why can we talk about the intro and not the conclusion?
Yeah.
You can take that.
I mean, that's the clip.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm like, that's my one like annoying artistic thing that's happening in my life right now is like, I want to tell crazy stories or I want to be a little edgier and racier. That's my actual sense of humor, but I hold back because I'm like, I don't want to piss off the Middle Eastern community and like,
I'm a little bit that way with politics right now because like if you believe in like astrological signs, like I'm an Aquarius, so I should be very outspoken and political. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where I am. But I also am really weird about my comedy being like segregating people and feeling like they can't just relax and chill.
That's how I am. Yeah.
That's the one thing. But I also know eventually it's going to come out.
It comes out how it does. I think like with politics, I'm not a political comedian. Sometimes my POV will come out, but it's sly.
Same.
But I also want you to guess. Like, I don't want you to know. Some people, they don't know what my political views are because I'm like, it's fun to fuck with both sides, you know?
Oh, my audience. I have diehard MAGA messaging me going, hey, I just really appreciate that time that you responded to that comment in such a lovely way. And it had nothing to do with politics. Yeah. And they automatically think I'm a red hatter. And then the opposite is true. Yeah. For liberal. And they're like, they think that I'm that way. And I was just like, oh.
Everyone thinks, I was going to say this, like people like they don't necessarily want to hear what you have to say. They want to hear what they have to say through your voice.
Yes.
So really, it doesn't matter what you say. They're just trying to find something to be like, I relate to that.
Right.
But I do love Republicans. I should say Republicans love me.
Right.
Which is why I love them. If you like me, then I will date you. That's really, that's my criteria. Yeah. That's actually been the only through line with everyone I've ever dated is just that they like me.
They like me back.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. Great. No, they like me first. And then I'm like, we could be in love. Yeah, for sure. You're short, but that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, I've dated all
Yeah.
political types. That's crazy. Yeah.
And then
That's
like the super lefters love me too. So I'm like, I'll just be right here in the middle. I'll
Right.
just pander to both sides. Let's
there you go. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. I mean,
Yeah.
as a comedian, it's like we're the observational
We have to be.
jesters of the crowd.
We have to be observational. We have to kind of be, I mean, you can be in whatever side of the spectrum you want. But like, I think what makes us comedians is like, you have to kind of take a step back and like be able to put yourself in people's shoes and understand why they think that way and like
Right.
comment on it.
Right.
I mean, it's easy to choose one stance and then just destroy the other side. And that's fine. It's not right or wrong. It's
Right.
whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
sometimes it's more fun to play devil's advocate, which is what I love to do.
That's what same.
Yeah.
Same. We have so much in common.
I love those.
Where can people follow you?
I'm on all the socials at Reem Edan, and we just extended my Diversity Fire tour. So next show is in Phoenix, and then we're going to add more cities. So
amazing.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
All right, you guys check her out. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Of course. Guys, you can follow me at The Funny Thing Is Podcast on socials or at Nicole Birch Comedy, and you can go to see my tour dates at NicoleComedy.com. Thank you so much. We'll see you again next week.